Graduation, it's a happy time. It's a whirlwind of excitement and accomplishment for these young folks, but it can also be strange to go from a college campus to the quote, end quote, round world, real world, where there's jobs to do and bills to pay. So here with all the money tips that grads should know, we've got Yahoo Finance's Kerry Hannon. Kerry, yes, it is a round world and it's a very real world out there. What are the first couple tips here?
Yeah, Brad, absolutely love this time in people's lives. Number one, set big, audacious goals. If you're going to start saving money, you've got to have a vision for what that is. You've got to dream to get there. And so, money might not buy happiness, but it buys you freedom to live the kind of life you want, to do the things you want to do. So I encourage people to, start a vision board. What are you saving for? It is so helpful to be able to not just have a dollar amount, but to visualize it. And the second thing that is hugely important is don't get caught up in credit card debt. It is so tempting at this stage in your life to think, oh, I'll just pay it back later. But the fact of the matter is debt is a dream killer. And you may find yourself stuck in a job because you need to have a certain salary to pay back those bills each month. And so I really encourage people to just try very hard to avoid debt.
And Kerry, a lot of young adults, new grads will arrive at their jobs, have to make decisions about contributing to retirement savings account when they're like, well, wait a minute, I'm still trying to take care of this debt that I just amassed over 4 or 5 years. So what are your tips there as they're looking out into the future and trying to make the smart decisions?
Yeah, this is a tricky one because you do say, I don't have enough money to set aside in my retirement account. But absolutely do as much as you can, even if it's a small amount. But if you can possibly, if your employer offers a retirement plan, try to get up to the match, 4 to 6% of your salary. That will, really be super helpful to you. You can bump it up as you go along. If you're working for yourself, automatically start an individual retirement account, an IRA, and automatically put a little bit of each paycheck into that. If you get confused about, oh my gosh, well, what should I be investing in? And your employer will offer lots of opportunities of different kinds of funds. I suggest start with a low-cost index fund. This is easy. It's really broadly diverse. You start with a U.S. stock fund. You can do an international fund, index fund, and maybe a little bit of bonds. But right now, you really want the equities to really give you the most growth over time and compound. So if you're really confused, just go to I love the S&P 500 index. It's been a great return over its history, and you can't go wrong. There's some cool stocks in there as well. You got Microsoft, you got Amazon, you got Tesla. But the other thing here is do not raid your account if you switch jobs. This is super tempting to do, especially if it's just a small amount. You go, oh, what the heck? I could use that to pay off these bills or to go on a trip. Don't do it. Let your money continue to grow for you.
Kerry, great tips here. We do have a little bonus activity, though, a little more fun in this conversation. What can you tell some of the fresh grads about enjoying spending their money?
Yeah, this is something my dad told me when I graduated. He's like, set some aside to spend on fun things, right? It's not, oh, yes, you have these big goals for your future, but save it in order to go do some fun things with your spending. And you know what? It's priceless. The return on this kind of life experience doesn't have your typical return on equity or whatever it might be, return on investment. This is a memories. These are memories. These are stories you'll tell your whole life. And I just encourage people to really build that kind of investment in your future as well.